Hello Graphite Knights, and in this video we're going to be drawing Lady here, dropping the sword of the Graphknight. She's just saved him from an attack, but we'll get into that in just a minute. To start, what you're going to want to do is, if you're in full screen, thank you so much for being in full screen, you'll notice our picture was sideways, so you're going to turn your phone so that you can look at this from the correct angle. I tend to start with the head. I feel like the head and the hands give the biggest picture of what's going on. Make sure to take time, pause when you need to. Draw it in the style that makes sense for you. Use whatever references you want. If you want to try and find someone in this position, that's great. Definitely feel like you can do that. The shoulder is actually going to hide the very bottom part of the head, and so you can see that overlap there, but I'm going to go through and erase that once we're settled. Lady here is traveling through the ruins of Lentok alongside her knight, the Graphknight. He is looking for Bagrock the dragon. He's trying to get into a scuffle with him, and they've been going pretty far, pretty deep. They're a few days into this journey. I'm trying to think of how many it would be. I'm not sure. I know there's a 3-day time jump at one point, and you're going to get to see the page for that soon. That one is a lot of fun. I actually, it'll be of the Graphknight sleeping, and I'm going to pay homage to my two cats, Cheerio and Frosty, and that. Super excited about it. I love those guys. But while they're traveling, they come across treasure. They come across loot, and that's a big deal, not just because, hey, like, loot, treasure, sweet. I mean, obviously, that's a sweet deal. But this place has been abandoned for 100 years, right? And so a lot of looters have come in and out and have made it to varying degrees of depth inside the ruins of Lentok. They, however, don't go too deep. And the reason for that is because people don't always come out. People go missing. There are weird stories surrounding the place about the place being haunted. And, firstly, people make that argument because anyone who can go in can see, no matter how deep you go in, that the candles are kept burning. The candles are always on. They have not run out. The wax is not dissipated to the point where nothing can burn, and the fire has not been snuffed. It continues to burn. The second reason, however, and it's the reason we're finding out in these panels, is because the treasure is often said to be alive. Now, that's an interesting tidbit, right? What does that mean for us? Well, here we have our characters being attacked by a mimic. We have the aftermath of that. Our knight, the Graphknight, is wandering up into the treasure. Phoebe is in her fairy form, so she's very small. It's a big part of the getup here in her situation. I wanted a really girly character, something that, I think I would be excited if I was considering a cosplay, getting to dress up as a giant knight. I feel like girls more want to cosplay as Sabrina Carpenter or something like that. That's a broad brush statement, but there's something there. Glinda, whatever it is, the pink glittery thing. It's a vibe. And so I wanted to give her that kind of fit. Now that she's in her human form, she doesn't have her wings, but she has, gotten large, grabbed the sword from the Graphknight because his hands were literally wrapped up by a tongue, and cut off the mimic's tongue. She's, in essence, slain him and saved her love. And so that's really good news, but she's kind of worried and shocked at the situation. It all happened really quickly, so she's going to be dropping the sword and turning back to look and make sure that the Graphknight is okay and that she did indeed save him. She needs process. She needs some confirmation that it actually happens the way that she hoped it did and that she was able to get to him. We're running some contrast. We're running some glitter. Glitter, you're just going to want to find some, if you're not doing this digitally, right, some really light colored pencils, some whites to go over. You can add little hues to that as you go. Some tools, if you're using Procreate, they have a glitter pen, which is pretty cool. You're just going to want to get that on the suit. Now we've got the sword here in the background. I always like to go a little darker with his grays, so the sword is more black-esque sometimes, and I really do enjoy that. I have a sword in my house. It's a, what do they call that? Is it cold steel? It's when a sword is, so it's a fake sword, but it's properly weighted. And you can use it to, I've never done this, but I'm told you can use them to, fence, spar, whatever. So it's a fun time. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.